If you've ever felt like you're constantly walking on eggshells, maybe even second-guessing your own sanity, then you're in the right place. Today, we're going to break down 5 quiet but incredibly powerful tactics to dismantle narcissistic control and help you reclaim your power.
You know, I wanted this to be the very first thing you hear today. Just let that sink in for a second. Because if there's a narcissist in your life, chances are they have spent a lot of quiet, patient time making sure you believe the exact opposite.
And this right here, this is how they do it. Look at the left column. That's the story they sell you. You're too dramatic. It's all your fault. You're broken. Sound familiar? But now, look at the right. This is the truth. You weren't broken. You were targeted. It wasn't your fault. It was a deliberate strategy. And you didn't overreact. You had the exact reaction they wanted. Understanding this shift is everything.
So, now that we know it's a strategy, we're going to flip the table. But we're not doing it with big, loud arguments or revenge. No, that's their game, and you can't win playing by their rules. Instead, we're going to use 5 quiet tactics that pull apart their control from the inside out.
All right, so here's our roadmap for today. We've talked about what it means to be targeted. Now we're going to dive into each of these 5 tactics: the gray rock, the unanswerable question, the unerasable record, the invisible exit, and then we'll finish with the most important one, the final shift.
Okay, so let's jump right into our first tactic, the gray rock. Now here's the mistake most of us make when dealing with a narcissist. We think the goal is to win the argument, right? We explain ourselves, we bring logic, we fight back with passion, and it always backfires. And here's why. A narcissist doesn't actually care about your explanation. What they want is this: narcissistic supply. And let's be really clear about what that is. It's your energy. It's your attention. It's your emotional reaction. It doesn't matter if you're yelling or crying or defending yourself. Your reaction is the food. So you have to make a huge mental shift. The goal is no longer to win. The goal is to become the most uninteresting thing in the room. You become a plain gray rock. You give short, flat, boring answers. You give them nothing to grab onto. Think about it. A bored narcissist is a hungry narcissist, and they will absolutely go looking for food somewhere else. All right, so now you know how to cut off their food supply. Let's move on to tactic 2, which is all about taking apart their arguments without ever having to fight. This one is called the unanswerable question. It is so brilliant because it uses their own twisted logic against them. This is your secret weapon. That's it, just this one simple non-confrontational question. So the next time they're twisting a story or blaming you for something that makes absolutely no sense, you don't argue, you just pause, and with real curiosity in your voice, you ask this. And here's why it's so powerful. Their stories are built for speed. They're designed to be thrown at you so fast that you react emotionally before you can think logically. But this question, it's like a speed bump. It forces them to stop, slow down, and actually explain their tangled logic out loud. And you know what? Most of the time, it just falls apart right there. This leads us right into tactic 3, which is all about protecting your own mind from one of their most dangerous weapons. We're calling this one the unerasable record. Does this sound familiar? You're told so calmly and with so much confidence that something you clearly remember, well, it just didn't happen, or you're remembering it wrong, or you're just being too sensitive. This is not an accident. It's a tactic. Let's call it what it is: gaslighting. And it's not just a disagreement. It is a deliberate strategy. Its only goal is to make you doubt your own memory, your own perception, your own sanity. So, you build a shield, and this shield is just for you, privately. You start a record. It could be a note in your phone, a journal, whatever. You write down the facts, what was said, the date, the time, and, this is important, how it made you feel. This isn't evidence to use against them in a fight. It's an anchor for you. It's your proof that you're not crazy. Okay, let's talk about the environment that they build around you. This brings us to tactic 4, the invisible exit. This is all about breaking out of the isolation they work so hard to create. You have to understand this core principle. A narcissist's control depends on isolating you. They make little comments about your friends, they create drama with your family, until you start to believe they're the only one who really understands you. That isolation is the cage. So what's the key? Connection. Real human connection. You don't have to announce some grand escape. You just start quietly building small doors out of the cage.
Text back that friend you miss. Go to that family dinner you were thinking of skipping. Sign up for that class. Find one small thing in your life that is completely, 100% yours. Each little step grows your world bigger than their cage.
And that brings us to our fifth and final tactic. Now, this one is the quietest of them all, but it is by far the most powerful. It's not something you do, it's something that changes inside you. The final shift.
Just read this quote. We are all wired to want other people to understand us, to see our side of things. We think if we can just explain it one more time, in just the right way, they will finally get it. They'll see the pain they've caused. But that hope, that specific hope that they will one day understand, that is the chain that keeps you locked in place.
And this is the choice. Their power doesn't come from them. It comes from your need for their approval, for their understanding. Your real power lies in shifting your focus completely away from them and onto your own genuine peace, something that has nothing to do with them.
And this is the end game. This is when you truly get free. It doesn't happen when they finally say, I'm sorry. It happens the moment you genuinely let go of needing to hear it. You take back all of your energy, and without that fuel, the whole power structure they built over you just collapses.
So there you have it, your complete toolkit for peace. The gray rock to starve them of attention, the unanswerable question to expose their faulty logic, the unerasable record to trust your own mind, the invisible exit to rebuild your life, and the final shift to finally let go.
And please, please remember this. They didn't build their control over you in a day. It was slow and it was patient. Undoing it is going to take that same patience with yourself. This isn't a race. It's about choosing yourself over and over in all the small, quiet moments.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. The person you were before all this started, the one who laughed without worrying, who trusted their gut, who knew their own mind, that person is still in there. This isn't about fighting them anymore. It's about finding you again. So, who will you go find first?